Welcome to the Take Care Sis podcast with me, Ki, and Kiki.
Join two friends for a conversation around self-care in real life. We'll talk about anything on the spectrum from bubble baths to setting boundaries to managing friendships and more.
As your sisters, we also just want to provide a weekly check-in. You know, like big sis asking little sis, sis, you good? So come on in, sis. Let's talk about how we can take better care of ourselves. Hey, Kiki.
Hey, Ki. How are you, sis?
Friend, I am good. How are you?
I'm good. You know, we halfway through my birthday month.
It's still your birthday month? Because I feel like we've been celebrating for 17 and a half weeks.
So.
Did you say so?
Yes.
All right, then. We're still celebrating. Okay, let's move on. Recap of last week's episodes. So last week, y'all, we did a mid-year check-in for ourselves. We, updated ourselves and you all with our goals, resolutions, some things that we had said we was gonna do and may or may not have done them. And then, looking forward to the latter half of the year.
Yeah, we just did a little check-in because we need to do that every once in a while. It was just the perfect time since we were like literally halfway through the year. So mid-year check-in with your resolutions, your goals, your intentions, all those things. And it doesn't have to be mid-year. It doesn't have to be New Year. It doesn't have to be all of these cliche times. You can check in with yourself anytime. You got goals on your calendar. You got goals on your board, your vision boards. Check in. Do I need to change them? Do I need to go a different direction? How is it working for me? All of that. We talked about that last week, and we gave y'all some questions to do your own check-in. So if you haven't listened, go listen to last week's episode. Grab you a pen and a paper. Grab your journal. Grab the Notes app on your phone, whatever you got, and do your check-in. All right, sis?
Do your check-in.
So got some bones to pick with y'all because it's my birthday month and y'all ain't gave me no ratings and reviews.
Listen to the girl, okay? Because it's her birthday month.
I'm starting to feel some type of way. Y'all don't see it because you don't see us on video yet, but I'm giving y'all a look right now.
She's straight up mean mugging me, and I don't like it. So I need to chill because I ain't done nothing today yet. So listen, I'm going to go off camera because the glare is a little intense. It's a little intense. Please get these ratings for this birthday girl because I
asked y'all nicely. Y'all nicely, and y'all just don't be listening to me. So I'm gonna ask y'all nicely again. Can y'all please go and do these ratings and reviews? Apple Podcasts and Spotify, that's what matters. Thank you. Go ahead and do your review. Go ahead and put a little blurb. Say, I don't care if you just say, hey, and put 5 stars. Hey. At least I know you listened and you did what I asked.
Hey.
You imagine us coming back next week, like, we got ratings and reviews. We got 5.
Hey. I want to see who's gonna do it actually. So I'm looking for the hey.
Okay. That's it. That's all. I'm done. Ain't gonna fuss no more. I'm staying in my happy mood.
Thank you.
All right. Into our self-care for last week. Ki, did you finish your course? Did you go to your brunch, friend? Did you get everything done?
I did. You hear me? I did. So the course was, I had to be finished at 11:59 on Friday. Sis finished at 11:57. But I'm done though.
And you met your goal with 2 minutes to spare.
met my goal. I finished my course. I passed the course. I'm just waiting on my certificate. And so apparently I now am supposed to be able to write grants. I don't know about that. Please don't call me to write your grant. But
she's our official grant writer for Take Care.
Listen. Okay, play if you want to. But either way, I finished the course. And I went to brunch in Raleigh. It was like the club with waffles.
Maybe I need to come and accompany you one day to that brunch.
It was an experience. Let's just move on and talk about your birthday shenanigans.
Last week I went to the beach for my birthday. Granted, it rained the entire weekend, but still had fun because I went and saw one of my best friends and we cut up and kikied and all that stuff. Ate some good food and I had some drinks. So if y'all was following me like you should, you would have saw all them pretty drinks that I drank.
Y'all, if y'all don't hear the subtle shade that she didn't hit y'all with twice already, she said, if you was following me like you should, let's just go ahead and put it out there now. Please follow Kiki at This Curvy Yoga with an I. Please. Also, give us a hey rating real quick. Go on and stop the podcast right here and go do it. Help me as I help you.
That's
I'm
right.
blinking twice because I'm not sure I'm safe.
She's safe. Don't be listening to her. She is safe. But yeah, I had fun last weekend. This weekend, Mother Nature came to visit, so she just rained on my parade.
Mm-hmm.
So I was chilling this weekend. Yeah.
That's a mean woman. It's a mean woman.
She just why can't she just bring me a piece of paper and say, hey, you ain't pregnant, like you said, and like I check it and sign it and then she go.
Right.
But she got to come and stay for like 3-4 days. Like, girl, go away.
I like the check-in sign feature. Like, just come through. It could be a job for somebody. You know what I mean? We just trying to boost the economy. Let's just go give somebody a job.
That would be a nice job. I'd be like, hey, girl, you all right? I know you had cramps just for a second. It's done. Once you sign this paper, it's done. And I'd be like, enjoy your weekend, sis. With a smile. I'll be doing a service to the community.
Oh my God. I love it. I love it. I'm here for it.
Customer service with a smile, okay? They might actually be happy to see me. Like, girl, hey, I was waiting on you. You late today. What's going on? I had a lot of deliveries today, girl. I'm sorry.
But we told you to stop messing with Byron like that. We told you to nothing. Let me move on.
So
for the culture.
Oh yeah, I haven't forgot. I still gonna make that a sound. Just wait. It's gonna be a sound. That last week she said, for the culture. For the culture. I still got that broken up into pieces so I can go on and put it into a beat or something.
I like it. It's finna be a audio on reels. For the culture. For the culture.
That's not a bad idea.
No, it's not. Let me write that one down too.
Yep. So first thing on our photo culture list is, so at the 74th Primetime Emmy Awards, Quinta Brunson, who is the creator of Abott Elementary, is officially the first Black woman to be nominated for Emmys in acting, writing, and an outstanding comedy series in the same year.
Yay!
She out here.
Go Quinta, go Quinta, go Quinta.
Hey.
But with all good, there's got to be a little bit of hateration in this dancery. And yeah, somebody said, hey, that's my concept. So sis,
girl. Yes. So I'm hoping that she does not have to cough up anything. But you know how that goes, y'all. People gonna always be coming for you. But also back on our good news streak. Jennifer Lewis now has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Man, listen, I saw this picture of sis doing a high kick on the Walk of Fame.
Well,
okay. And Miss Auntie Jennifer is how old? Get it, girl. Get it.
Listen, she does everything. She acts, she sings, she just straight up entertainer, you know?
Get it.
What was that song that she came out with? Like her and Brandy. They were singing something. What was it? For the streets. In the streets. In these streets. Yes. Oh my God. You remember that?
No.
They were all like, it was a video where they were actually singing this little clip saying in these streets. I'm gonna have to find it and send it to you. Hilarious.
All right. And then the other thing for the culture that I am super excited about is the release of 988. So y'all know that many people use 911 as their personal emergency room or whatnot. You just call 911 all willy-nilly. My cat's in a tree. I can't open my stove. And so the 911 operators is like, listen, we tired of dealing with all the craziness. Plus, this becomes a threat to our community specifically because a lot of times you're having a mental health episode and you need that type of treatment and care as opposed to this person really isn't a criminal. So 988 has opened up and you can call them if someone is having some type of mental episode, but it is also a suicide hotline prevention, and that is long and well overdue.
Yes, I think they have the prevention line, but it's just easier to just be able to dial 988 instead of 1-800, whatever that number was.
Yeah, because who remembers that?
Girl, I'm telling you.
Who remembers that? Like
it's easier to be able to tell your friend, hey, 988 than 1-800-555-5555, you know.
Right. I've worked heavy in the domestic violence world, and I've worked heavy in the human trafficking world, right? I can't remember either of those two numbers off the top of my head, and I've worked in those capacities. I just have them in my phone; they saved. But if somebody in a hurry, be like, hold on, real quick, let me look it up.
Listen, in the world of our technological advances, I don't know anybody's phone number. So you asking me to remember a business phone number or a hotline phone number? No, ma'am. Like if it ain't in front of me, I don't know. Even at work, if your number ain't in front of me, I don't know. If it wasn't for that directory on the phone that I can just punch in, I wouldn't know how to call these
extension. I do not.
Girl, if it wasn't for that little graphic that I have on my desk, I wouldn't know none of y'all's extensions. So sorry.
None.
But yeah, we're happy for this release. Very happy.
Absolutely.
And it kind of goes in line with what we're talking about today. So
yes, it's the perfect segue to talk about Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. Yay!
So it's Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. It's also known as BIPOC Mental Health Awareness Month. And we mentioned this a little bit last week, where we're going to talk about a little more in depth for this episode. So, according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Office of Minority Health, the National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month is observed each July to bring awareness to the unique struggles that racial and ethnic minority communities face regarding mental illness in the United States.
Not to be confused with October, which is Mental Health Awareness Month, right? Or Suicide Prevention Month. Sorry, I've even gotten them confused at this point. But so yeah, like July is specific to BIPOC communities. And you know, being African American, we break it down for us.
Right.
So Getting into the history, on June 2nd, 2008, the U.S. House of Representatives announced that July would be known as Bebe Moore-Campbell National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month. I think they've just shortened it now to National Minority Health Mental Health Awareness Month. Yeah, it was created to bring awareness to the unique struggles that underrepresented. They change the word every year. Today, we're going to go with the global majority. Unique struggles that the global majority groups face in regard to mental health awareness here in the United States. This was in honor of my soror, Bebe Moore, who was an American author, journalist, teacher, mental health advocate, and honorary member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
I did not know that. I'm glad you threw that in there. Did not know that. My research did not carry me there. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. It wasn't. A lot of my research came from the mental health awareness website. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, I didn't see that. But thanks for letting us know.
It's all good.
So a little bit about Bebe Moore before we get into the meat and potatoes of this conversation.
Meat and papas.
Bebe Moore fought for equitable mental health care, especially for Black and African American communities. She was a best-selling author of several books, including Your Blues Ain't Like Mine, Singing in the Comeback Choir, What You Owe Me, and Brothers and Sisters. She was an NPR commentator, and she spoke about the stigma of mental health and the intersections of being a Black woman in America. And in 2003, she co-founded the National Alliance on Mental Illness in Inglewood, which later became NAMI, Urban Los Angeles, a countrywide chapter providing multicultural and multilingual education and resources to the Black, Latino, and Korean communities that reside within the county of Los Angeles, including those seeking support as families, peers, and individuals with lived experience.
Each year, Mental Health America develops a public education campaign dedicated to addressing the mental health needs of Black, Indigenous, and people of color. This year, the target or the theme is Give Your Community a Boost. This year, the organization has decided to look at the intersectionality between COVID and, last year, I take it back. Last year, they looked at the intersectionality between how COVID is affecting the mental health or the mental wellness of the BIPOC communities. And this year, they want to go ahead and encourage people to continue to get vaccinated, but also get your boosters. And so it's Give Your Community a Boost. That is the theme for this year. Oh, wait. There's more than one theme. I guess it's more than one company. Sorry, my bad. That was one.
Wondering.
That's related to me personally with the work that I do. I do health equity work here in North Carolina. There's also the theme Beyond the Numbers, which explores the nuances and uniqueness in BIPOC communities. And you can read more at the website that we're going to put in our, where are we going to put it, Kiki?
The description, the show notes.
Okay, that's where we're going to put it.
Yeah, that was from the Mental Health of America Association, I think. Yeah. So, why is mental health awareness needed for minorities? So, according to the Clarity Clinic, in many minority communities, mental health problems are increased by less access to care, cultural stigma, and are more likely to use emergency departments. Minorities are more likely to reach an extreme point like suicidality, panic attacks, heart attacks, due to mental health issues.
And just, excuse me, just for some clarity for you guys, or to throw some numbers in there for you. The suicide rate for Black or African Americans is on a steady incline. It's not looking good for the home team. And you'd be surprised at the populations that are on the rise. I think that we can all kind of agree that our children and our youth and young adults, they are suffering. So they, the age range of 25 to sorry, the age range of 15 to 34, they have risen since 2011. So from 2011 to 2020, they have raised 9.3, so 900,000 they have raised. That's, where we are. So that was a group that, I kind of get. And I'm speaking from Nakia. I kind of get why that group, you're adolescent, you're just going through the things, you got the emotions, you don't know how to handle them. But I was more surprised to find out that these older generations, these rates are also increasing. The 25 to 34 population has increased, but you also see a big jump in the age groups of 55 to 64. What? You think that the adults would have it, I don't want to say have it together, because mental illness is not something that you have together or you don't, but right. I would have never thought of suicide in that age range. And then the other age range that's at risk is 85 plus.
You know what I think about when you say that, though, especially 85 plus, is when you think about their circle of friends, a lot of them have lost a lot of their friends and their family, so they're kind of like the only ones. So yes, that seems doesn't seem not normal, but it seems like it could happen because of that reason. Mm-hmm. And I hear, grandparents and older people talk about that all the time. Like sometimes it just feels like I'm the only one here, even though they have family around, but their friends and their actual circle of people that they go to, they aren't here anymore. So it's a little harder to deal with sometimes.
Yeah. Like that's another one that I will rudimentally say I understand the suicide situation in those, but I was really surprised by that middle age group. But let's talk, not about suicide specifically. The percentage of adults with mental health issues, or I'm going to say imbalances, because I don't like the word issues. So mental health imbalances. And this study, or this chart that I'm looking at, was a chart that the conditions were about 2012. So the data is kind of outdated, but it is current on this website, if that makes any sense. But Black Americans make up 18.6% of the population with some type of mental illness or mental health issue, compared to, say, 16.3% of Hispanics, 13.9% of Asians. But then the people who are leading the pack are American Indians and Alaskan Natives, and they are at 28.3% of the population. And this was from 2012. So I can only imagine in 10 years how these numbers have probably doubled.
Right.
Minorities are less likely to receive diagnosis and treatment for their mental illness, and have access to less mental health care service, and often receive a poorer quality of mental care. And like the national, which one was it? There's so many names. The one that I was telling you earlier, they were the ones that were focusing on the intersectionality of COVID and how that's affected it. Because, for anybody that does any type of work, health equity work, right? We weren't right in 2019. There was things awry, bubbling and boiling, if you will, right? And then boom, 2020 happens, and this pandemic, and all of our weaknesses in our communities were just highlighted 100-fold. So the system went right before, and it only got worse with COVID. But what COVID did is it caused more people to begin to self-isolate. One, at first we had to, but now I noticed that, me being in a sorority, we talk all the time about, knowing the numbers is important to us as a sorority because we're a big gang, right? So we all like hanging out and whatever, and we have to be cautious of our hangouts and our events and stuff like that when the numbers are high, because, you don't want to start a COVID cluster.
Right.
So we always talk about this type of stuff. So again, you end up self-isolating, and the things that you used to enjoy, you may not be interested in doing them. Like I'm going to a concert tonight and I'm a little nervous about it. Yeah. Yeah. So you begin to self-isolate, and you were dealing with some type of mental health issue. That's not cool. That's not good.
Right. Oh, it's hard out here.
Hard out here.
All right. So studies suggest that racial minority groups and sexual minority groups show higher levels of anxiety, depression, suicidal tendencies, post-traumatic stress disorder, otherwise known as PTSD, and other mental health disorders. This can be explained by society's deep-rooted prejudice towards such stigmatized minority groups. In many cases, this causes major feelings of rejection, estrangement, and harassment among these communities. So let's talk about cultural stigma.
Let's talk about it.
Because I know with our culture, African Americans, Black people, especially when it comes to the religious side, a lot of times when it comes to mental issues, we're told to pray about it.
We just gonna pray for him. You know, he ain't right a little bit, or he a little too dead. We just gonna pray for him.
Yes, that is the number one thing that they say. And it's also kind of most of the time because we, I guess because we're so used to kind of calling people crazy, which is not the term that we should be using, y'all. We don't want to look crazy. We don't want ourselves to look crazy in any way. It becomes something that's embarrassing to us. And if other people are calling you crazy, you really don't want to try to get the help that you need, because then people are just going to be looking at you in that way. Also, our families, we get to the point where we don't want to tell family business. So if it comes to therapists or any doctors or something, most of the time you're going to hear, especially the old people, like, don't be telling our business. I can't be telling our business to nobody. Yeah, I understand, Key. She blowing because she know all this stuff is true. It's just
yeah, like, yeah.
This is what we hear, y'all. This is what you hear all the time. And also, when it comes to certain issues, sometimes the parents are like, "Ain't nothing wrong with you. Ain't nothing wrong with that baby. He don't need no medicine. He don't stop. Why are you putting him on?" And I mean, sometimes you don't need it, but also most of the time we kind of reject the help that we can get for mental issues.
Yeah. Like, I think it was like, I don't know. I can just think of so many of our prized Black shows, except for the Cosby Show, because, you know, he was a pediatrician. So I'm pretty sure that they didn't talk about it in this way.
Right.
Like, I think of like shows like Everybody Hates Chris and stuff like that. Ain't nothing wrong with him. Or Black people don't go to therapy. You know that? Like, I am so sick of that stigma. You know, it's just like telling Black men don't cry. Why not?
Right.
And now y'all, it ain't, so we can't let them cry and they can't go to therapy. You just
What
want them to die
do?
on the inside. You just want them to die from the inside out. Just blah.
Just slowly deteriorate in the inside. Like, that's what y'all want them to do?
Right. And then don't tell the family business. No, we don't tell. We don't talk about things outside the house.
Oh,
that's just crazy.
Yeah. I don't get it. We really need to stop that way of thinking, because I feel like the earlier that you detect something, especially in children, you can try to figure out ways to cope with it or help them have coping skills, coping mechanisms growing up, and they're able to deal with it a little bit better than than you can.
Yeah. Like, I think about my favorite, when you're being punished. Stop all that crying before I give you something to cry about. Or we don't like what you crying for, those type of situations. Like, what? My feelings are hurt. And this is how I'm choosing to express myself in this moment. Right. Or my finger is broken. Why can't I cry? This shit hurts. You know, right. just little things like that. But I think about, even as a young girl, you know, strong Black woman type of stuff. Like, I can think about how many times I've been told, oh no, you don't cry at work, or oh no, you don't let people see you cry, or oh no, that, you know what I mean? And it's just like, but wait, if I'm hurt, why can't I cry?
Right.
And I joke on you all the time, and I tell you, like, I'm not a big crier. And I could be something wrong with me, actually. But it's funny because I do cry at the most random things. Like, let me see like a cute baby hugging a puppy on a reel, and I will tear the fuck up. But it's so weird. So weird.
Just emotions, that's all.
No one asked you.
It's compassion. That's all. We know that Ki has compassion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, so, you know, getting told that, and then you have to hold it in. And let's go ahead and be honest. We'll go ahead and kind of go into the next one. African Americans, or BIPOC communities, as in general, we have less access to care, and definitely less access to quality care. I can't tell you how many people, well, I probably can if I looked up the statistic, but I haven't. But how many people don't have a primary care physician? How many people like I said, use the emergency room, or urgent cares, your urgent cares. They use those because they don't have a regular doctor, or they don't have health insurance. So when you say stuff like that, or when you're in situations like that, you honestly don't have access to health care, right? You don't have access, and you definitely don't have access to therapy. This is my pet peeve. So when you're looking at a benefits package, right? You know, these employers out here, because y'all know how I am about my job boundaries. So you got these employers out here with we have a competitive benefits package. And when you ask them about therapy and their mental wellness, you know, what are they doing for that? Stop referring me to EAP. Stop it. Give me a full-on access to a full-on therapist. I don't want to just do EAP. Stop. That is not, that's not how you attract me at my big age. No, when you tell me, oh, we got EAP through our health insurance, get out. This ain't gonna work. Nope. No. Y'all better have full-on access to some and pay the bills. Can we pay the bills? Because listen, let me tell you, I had a certain health insurance a couple of years ago, and I'll never forget, I couldn't get a therapist to call me back. I was like, no therapist will call me back. I'm trying to make an appointment. Fast forward, I'm having dinner with some friends, and you know, my friend, she brought some friends, whatever. One of the friends at the table was a therapist, and I told her, I was just like, yo, because I was having dinner in Raleigh. So she's a therapist here in Raleigh, and she goes, I said, yeah, man, I've been having such a hard time finding a therapist in Fayetteville. And she goes, who's your insurance provider? And I was like, insurance provider's name. And she goes, oh, that's because they don't pay their bills. So none of us like dealing with them.
Oh,
what?
God.
Are you bills, insurance people? Sorry. So here it is, at my big age, I got this good job. I'm telling my mama, oh, I even got health insurance. But my insurance company don't pay their bills on time. So now, anyway, less access to quality care, right? Do you have the financial means to shop around for a therapist? And that's a big deal, right? Because therapists listen to someone complain and whine, and I say complain and whine because this is what we do with our friends, right? But listen to somebody who might have a true concern, or hell, if they don't even have a true concern, they just want to come and flesh out their thoughts with you. Listening to that, patient after patient after patient after patient, that's a lot. I get frustrated when I have to do it for friends for hours on end. This is why I'm not a therapist. But anyway, yeah, like doing that for hours on end, like pay these people, right? Pay these people. Do you know how much it costs to be a therapist? Pay these people. But but yeah, so there's a cost to be paid. And sometimes we just don't have the means for it. Or like I said, you can get a job who's going to offer you insurance with a company that they don't pay their bills. So then they throw up the EAP. And for those of you that don't know, EAP is kind of like, you get like these free sessions, and you get so many, first of all, you get so many sessions that are free to you. And basically, it's kind of like, I'm not saying it's bad, because, if you don't have any other options, please do the EAP. But what I am saying is, if you use therapy, if you really need therapy, EAP is not enough. But if that's all your job is gonna, it was this big ass bird that just flew by my window. Like, it was big. It was big. But if that's all your job is gonna offer, please stop. Please stop doing this jobs. So anyway, you got these therapists out here, and you got, I'm going to say, Hollywood level therapists where, you paying hundreds of dollars an hour just to talk to these people. And then you got people who will actually do like sliding scale therapy for you. And sliding scale therapists, they work on your income. But let's be honest, if I am making minimum wage and you are willing to slide your scale to work with my income, that still doesn't mean that you are in my budget.
Right.
And that's two completely different things. Income and budget are not the same. Miss Mathematician lady. So
I'm not a mathematician.
You do the math and the budgets, and you always get on me.
Accounting, not mathematician.
Okay, it's is your therapist, psychiatrist, psychologist, whichever you choose, are they going to misdiagnose you or give you a prescription without presenting other options for treatment? Like, maybe you are a little bit more holistic and you don't want to be on the medicines. Will your doctor give you the holistic approach, which will show you like different exercises, yoga? Had to get that yoga out my throat. Will they give you other options to, not have to medicate? Because sometimes you don't have to medicate, but sometimes medication is the easiest, especially if you have like a chemical imbalance. Please get the medicine. I don't care if you sage, that ain't gonna help. I don't care if you pray about it, that ain't gonna help. If you have a full out medical diagnosis that involves some type of chemical imbalance, get your medicine, friends. But once again, we go back to the budget. Can you actually afford it? I don't care what doctor you find that works in your budget or works with your income. Can you afford it? And some of us are really concerned with, does the doctor actually care? Now, I will say that I find that does the doctor care thing, I find this probably more common in the, I'm going to use the term medical field. So like when I go see my doctor that's checking out my knee, does that person actually care? I find that therapists actually care a little bit more. They're kind of paid to care. And so that's cool. But what people don't realize is there are different types of therapy. And so that goes into the next question. Are there specialists in their area? So for example, Dr. B, our favorite therapist who visits us often, Dr. B is a cognitive behavioral therapist. And she explained that to you guys, that she helps people retrain their thoughts. So people who, we'll go ahead and talk about suicide. Dr. B is going to talk to you about your thoughts about suicide, right? And then you have therapists who, I'm trying to think of the tweet that I saw that talked about all the different types of therapists. You have some therapists who are definitely there to prescribe. So if you're thinking about suicide, they're going to prescribe the things to make you not think about suicide anymore. Then you got people who want to talk about your feelings about the suicide, so you just got different types of therapy, but those could be specialties, and those people may not be in your area. So those are the things that we as persons of color have to consider anytime we're looking at a therapist. Like we think about all those things, and it just doesn't come as easy to us. I know my personal journey with therapy, it took me quite a while to find a therapist that I wanted. Because first of all, I wanted a woman. I wanted a Black woman, for my personal reasons. Actually, what I was going through at the time when I first sought out my therapist, I was going through some imposter syndrome, kind of failure to launch type of situation. I was real hesitant on pulling the trigger on some things that I needed to do. And I figured, and this is what made me comfortable, this might not be what you choose in your therapist, but I wanted a therapist who looked like me and perhaps dealt with the things that I have dealt with. And I really feel like another Black woman had a better handle on my struggle, not a Black man, not a white woman. So I was looking for a Black woman that took the insurance, that didn't pay the bills. Yep, that's what I was looking for. So it took quite a while to find it. Then I found her, and she still wasn't the therapist for me. It felt like going to talk to my girlfriends. And I was like, yo, I don't need to pay this copay every week if we just go, talk like girlfriends. So I still then had to find another therapist. So, you got to find what works for you. And that takes time, that takes effort, that takes resources that the average person does not have.
Exactly. Because if you don't have good insurance, you don't have the money to keep switching from therapist to therapist to figure out what works for you. You got to do what you got to do now. Like the EAP programs, you got to do it now. You got to do a sliding scale now, because I don't have time. I don't have time and resources to keep trying to figure out who's right for me. I need somebody to talk to now. And that's the debate that we have
now.
Yeah. When we were talking about this, I thought about a podcast I was listening to the other day. So I listened to a storytelling podcast called Snap Judgment.
Mm-hmm.
And this story was called Unseen and Unheard. And it was about a lady who was living with, I think it was schizophrenia. And basically, you have to go listen to the story, but I was just glad that her husband was there to like advocate for her a little bit, but it was still kind of challenging, because if the medical providers don't believe you, they're not going to believe your husband either. It was kind of like a revolving door for him to kind of get quality care for her.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting story, but just throwing it out there so y'all can go listen if you have time. I think it was about 30 minutes, not that long. Just made me think about that. But those are the stories that we do not hear often.
Right.
Because people don't talk about it openly. I think people are doing that more now since we have more podcasts and more platforms to talk about stuff on. But I just thought it was very interesting, and it's called Unseen and Unheard. So you can kind of gauge how that story went.
Yeah, I actually want to check that out. And it's funny because I'm in a Black podcasters group on Facebook, and so I'm there to talk about my self-care podcast. And I've actually come across, I think, like 3 different self-care podcasts. And the reason why they started them was because they had their own mental health issues. And so they are actually discussing self-care or mental wellness around like the navigation of it all. So I thought that was interesting. Oh, but I did find the different therapists that I was talking about. It's actually approaches to therapy. Okay. And they are cognitive behavioral therapy. Dr. B talked about that before. There's acceptance and commitment theory. It's about accepting your thoughts and feelings without trying to change them. Then it's dialectic behavior therapy, incorporates a dialectical worldview, which means 2 opposite ideas can be true at the same time. And there's interpersonal therapy, which draws connections between your moods and relationships to underlying interpersonal issues. And then there's psychoanalysis. That's really like head gamey, developed by Freud. This approach focuses on changing problematic behaviors, feelings, and thoughts by discovering their unconscious meanings and motivations. So there's that.
All right. So we kind of talked about the rest of these. doctors may ignore certain symptoms of physical or mental illness in BIPOC communities.
Wait, before we can't slide over that one. I'm sorry, I can't slide over that one. Listen, you know your body, right? Mm-hmm. Now, some of us are a little hypochondriac, right? We'd be like, oh my God, I'm dying. You have a fever. You'll just take some Tylenol, calm down, right? Some of us are hypochondriac, but some of us literally like limbs hanging on by a thread, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we go to the doctor, and I'm just going to be completely legit. If y'all haven't heard this rumor, it's not a rumor, or it's a thing, right? Doctors have been, okay. So this is one of the reasons why like diversity, this is so problematic with the medical community, but medical doctors are being taught by other medical doctors, right? And so you end up getting some of their biases. And one bias in the medical or health profession is that, for example, Black women have a high pain tolerance. So Black women die especially in childbirth, Black women die either during or post childbirth at alarming rates. Why? Because physicians literally aren't believing us when we say we're in pain. So it's a lot of Black women that, they come home after they've had their babies, and they're just like, oh my God, my stomach is hurting. My stomach's hurting. They'll literally call their doctors or their primary care physicians, not their OB, because you're no longer pregnant. You're not with an OB anymore. So they'll call their doctor or their primary physician and be like, oh, I'm in pain. And the doctor's like, well, you just had a baby. Of course you hurt. Ignoring this woman. So now he goes to the emergency room. Do you know where you fall on the emergency room scale of importance when you come in and say, I have a stomach ache? You down way low, way low, right? And so women are waiting hours not knowing that they're actually internally bleeding. Something has ruptured, come loose. It's all bad. By the time they get to the back, it's because it's the last few moments. So you have men out here that are now single dads with newborns, right? And this is happening at an alarming rate. Our doctors and then I can't even blame some of the doctors, because again, they're being taught these biases. But not only that, like look at the healthcare model now. You go and you're literally in the room with your doctor for about 15 minutes. You do not have time to share with them all the things that you've experienced since that last checkup. So doctors may be ignoring you, and it's not necessarily their fault, but I am going to encourage us all to be heavier advocates for ourselves and for our bodies.
You said that, and so I'm gonna go back a little bit. So our Mother's Day episode, my mom, she let you all know that she is disabled. So a lot of these things she's experienced, doctors thinking that a lot of the things that she feels in her body are just in her head. So basically they're thinking that she's not feeling these things. She's just kind of crazy. So a lot of times my mom does, now to prepare to go to the doctor, she actually like writes down a list of questions like, why is this happening? Why does this happen? Why do I feel this way? Is this effect of this? Is this medicine working for me? Because once I started taking it, this happened. Like she literally has a list of things, because like you said, you're only in there for 15 minutes. So she's like, I'm gonna get as much as I can out of this doctor in 15 minutes. So like he said, please go prepared and advocate for yourself more. My mom is blessed to be able to Google stuff and figure out things, and then figure out lingo that she needs to say. I know for older people that might be the opposite, but just please advocate for yourself. Advocate for yourself as much as you can. And if you have someone that can go with you, at least let them have your list of questions as well. So if you get there and you're not feeling well, they can also ask it for you.
Yeah, we've had to do that with my father. My father's a veteran, and so he gets seen at the VA for free. He thankfully has other insurance, but he chooses to do the VA thing, right? Okay, cool. So he gets seen once a year, or if he needs something in between, it takes forever to get an appointment. So me and my mom have started making him keep a journal. And so the journal is for the doctor. So you talk about your medicines and how they're making you feel and stuff like that. So yeah, when he finally gets in to see that physician, he can go, you know, da 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 da.
Right.
And that's real. That's super, super real.
So you know if it's happening in the doctor's office where there are physical pain, that the mental issues is harder for them to detect and harder for you to actually, I guess, convey that to them. So you have to be more on your toes about it.
Yep. I have a friend. She has a brain injury, right? She had a fall, so she now has a brain injury. And as one of the people in her life that she trusts, and she, you know, she has her circle, but she knew she was having a bit of a decline when all of us start to mention, hey, you're getting a little less, you're getting a little harder to understand, right? And, you know, when you have a TBI, you go through the various ranges of health and wellness. I'll say that. You know, some months she'll be great, some months not so great. It's an ebb and a flow. But I also encourage people to have that squad or that team that will be 100% real with you. And, you know, hey, friend, you've been babbling in circles a lot more lately. What's going on? And this is just helpful for not just like stuff like TBIs, but this is helpful for your mental health too. Because if you seem to, do y'all remember that word that we brought up several episodes ago, ruminating? If you seem to be ruminating more often and you can't let shit go, maybe it's time to talk to a therapist. If you just keep focusing on this and can't let that go, maybe we need to see our therapist. It's important to have awareness of your mind and body. And sometimes that does require us to have like a good personal friend be like, hey girl, let me pull you aside, let me talk to you for a minute. But having that awareness of your mind and body, you'll know when you feel off and balanced in your mind or in your body. Are you sad more often? Do your moods swing more quickly and more frequently than usual? Are you more tired than before? These are things that you should just be conscious and aware of. And y'all know I journal. So I talk about these things in my journal. But if you're not a journaler, like I said, having a friend or being more aware of those. And you know how you can gain awareness? You know how you can gain awareness, Rand? Yoga. Because yoga will teach you how to bring all, you know, I'm gonna make it the full circle. Yoga will teach you how to be a little bit more aware of who you are and where you are in space, body, and time.
Ain't that the truth?
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, so just be aware of your own body and mind, like she said. A lot of times symptoms of certain things show up differently for people of color. We experience trauma a little differently. And of course, we always reiterate to you that trauma is stored in the body.
Trauma is stored.
So just be aware of how you're feeling and how it changes over time. And if you have to, get you a Black doctor. Get somebody that looks like you, if you can. I know that might be a privilege right now, but get you somebody that look like you or somebody of color that might understand that certain symptoms are different in different people.
Agreed. Because if I go into one more non-Black doctor's office and all they want to throw at me is BMI, kiss my whole Black BMI.
And it's not only, and that's for, of course, Black people, because most of us are classified as overweight. Not most of us, but a lot of us are. But also just bigger people in general. Like you go to the doctor, that's what they're going to blame it on. And like, how's that going to help you? You can lose the weight and then you still have that same problem. You go back and like, what are they going to say then?
Because let's not forget, like, heaven forbid you carry muscle well.
Right.
Your BMI is through the roof. And you real healthy out in these streets. Shut up talking to me about BMI. I'm getting that shirt from Indescribable. Shut up talking to me. Shut up talking to me about BMI.
She kills me with that. Yeah, so that's what we got for y'all this week. We just wanted to talk about why minority mental health awareness is important. All of those things we mentioned, those are the reasons why you need to be aware of your own mental health status and those around you. We just need to take care of each other and ourselves, y'all.
Yes, Lord, we need to take care of each other. Like, we need more love, we need more hugs, but we definitely need more people. Be that person that's willing to have the next person's back. That's what I'm gonna charge y'all with this week. Be the person that's willing to have the next person's back.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So just a few resources. I wanted to offer y'all a few of our own resources because we have talked to Dr. Ebony multiple times. So episode, let's see. Ooh, why did it go back? I lost it. Wait, I lost it. I'm like you, like at the beginning of the podcast, you're like, I lost it. Yeah, that's me right now. So we had 2 therapy episodes, therapy and mental health awareness episodes with Dr. Ebony. That was episode 15 and episode 16. So those are good foundations of how you can get into therapy and how you can choose your therapist, how you can break up with your therapist, how you can pay for therapy, or how you can find free resources. Those are 2 episodes you need to get into. I also recommend the Daddy Issues episode for Coach Mike's insight on how to support the men in your life when it comes to their mental health journey. Yeah, so those are the episodes that I recommend for that. I'm going to list the resources that we use for this episode in the description. That's the minorityhealth.hhs.gov and also mhanational.org. And the 988 National Suicide Line. If you have to recommend that to someone or if you need to use it yourself, please, please, please use that resource. You got some stuff to add, Key?
Look into the blessed EAP that your job may have. I'm going to take another full breath on that one. Look into your EAP, but also, y'all, look for some alternative therapies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say, and I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt of knowing who you are, right? So there's a lot of like circles. People do therapy or people do things in circles that you can jump in on. Grieving, and y'all, please, 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 please don't be afraid to look up these things on Facebook. There are a ton of Facebook groups. There are people who have lost their mothers. There are people, because I have a lot of people in my life who have lost a mother recently. Look into these groups on Facebook, y'all, because that's a start. I promise you, in that group, there is a therapist. Yes, you're going to have to fish through a lot of people talking about, their personal experience, but sometimes it helps, right? So look at your alternatives to therapy if you can't afford them. That's one that I highly recommend is support groups. And those can be virtual or in person. But check out your local library. Your local library is going to have a list of county-related support groups because they're probably being held at the local library. Support groups are often held at the library. You can go there. And you got your support groups for your various things. Like I said, grieving a loss, grieving. Another thing that people don't often talk about enough is, for us Black women, miscarriages. For those of us that have had miscarriages and stuff like that, we should probably be talking about it and talking about it more and talking about it more openly, having to deal with that. Or, in light of recent events, Roe versus Wade, having had an abortion. You may need to talk about somebody about that. Find these support groups, people. Find the support groups. And then if you have a physician that's in tune with you, he or she may be able to make a doctor referral. And if the doctor refers, therapy, I mean, your insurance, if it works the way it's supposed to do and they pay their bills, your insurance is supposed to cover it.
There you go. There, like you said, there are tons of free resources. I definitely recommend Facebook groups. Like there's a group for everything. Okay,
Really
even the smallest things, but especially for
there is a group.
My dog ran away. That's a group.
There's a group.
But yeah, they have tons of groups that you can probably tap into and meet people who are going through the same thing, or they can share their own experience and how they cope with it. It just feels better to know that you're not alone sometimes.
Yep.
So that's our episode, y'all. We just want to put that out there. It's Minority Mental Health Awareness Month, why it's important to us as minorities, and the resources that you can kind of use to deal with that, to deal with your own mental issues or deal with mental issues of family members, friends, because we're all an ecosystem, right? We're all here to help each other and help each other grow.
We're all in this together.
I just knew you were coming. I could feel it. I could feel it in my bones. I felt it.
All in this together.
But yeah, y'all, we just wanted to also encourage y'all to start paying attention to your mental health. Like Key said, keeping a journal is top notch. It helps you to figure out how you felt in certain situations, and also helps you to see the changes that happen over time, so that when you do have to go to a professional, you can actually articulate like what's going on and how it changed. And if you ain't good at talking, look, here's Paige. This is my journal. Read it, because I need you to understand what I'm going through right now. Right. Yeah. And also, y'all can engage with us. Y'all know where to find us. We Take Care Sis Pod, Facebook, Instagram for now. We post every. What?
I was just laughing for now.
Yeah, that's our thing right now. But we post every week. So when we post about this episode, you can let us know your thoughts. You can always email us. We are available, kktakecaresis@gmail.com. All of this will be in the show notes. Y'all know this by now. You know where to find it. Show notes, description. When you click on that podcast, it'll show you everything. And don't forget to share. This is actually a good podcast to share with everyone. A good place to start, especially if you want to have a conversation around mental health with someone. Maybe you share the podcast and then you talk about it afterwards. So don't forget to share it with everyone on social media, in your group chats, your private chats, whatever, on Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. Just share it. This is how we grow our community.
Friends.
Share with your friends so they can listen to, and y'all can talk about the episode. Yeah.
I like it.
Thank you, friend. I did it right off the top of my head.
I know. And I was going to let you do that because you sing and I don't.
So I hope y'all enjoyed that. Yeah. So where can they find you, sis?
You can find me in the club. Sorry, I do this every week. Like, it's not like a dad joke, but it is. Sorry. Mom joke. Auntie joke.
Yeah, auntie joke.
Auntie joke. You can find me on my website, yogawithkey.space. And that's really important because I need you to go there to book a session. Okay. Mm-hmm. We can meditate. We can do some yoga. We can talk about yoga. Like, we can talk about, coming up with a whole plan, have a little consultation. We can do that on my website. You can also find said Acuity link on my Instagram, which is currently yoga_with_key_. It will be that way until the release of this episode.
Alrighty. And y'all know where you can find me, this curvy yogi. And that's curvy with an I, not a Y. You can hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You can watch my videos there. For now, that's my name. Yes. My website is thiscurvyyogi.com. Again, curvy with the I, not a Y. And I'm on break from teaching virtually this month because it's my birthday month. Yes. But if you want to set up something up for next month, I got you. Just go to my website, look up the services and the classes, and I got you.
She got you. If you're looking for a class from me, I got 2 classes coming up in July. And I'm trying to think if this, so when this episode drops, this drops on Tuesday. Thursday, I will be at Gaston Brewery in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'll be there teaching yoga at 6 p.m. I forgot the time, sorry. I'll be there, I believe it's 6. I'll be there at 6 p.m. on Thursday. And sorry, that's Thursday, July 21st. I'll be at Gaston Brewery. And then on Monday, July 25th, I will be at Dick's Park for Yoga in the Park. And that does start at 6. I know that for sure. So I'll be there teaching. So yeah, come out, bring your bug repellent, your mat, and come. We do yoga in the grass. It's really cool. It's free. The Gaston Brewery one is not. That is $10, but it comes with a free glass or pint of beer.
Y'all go support Key now. Go support her. If you're in the Greenville area, I will be teaching at KPT, Kinetic PT, over here. I will be doing a beginner series along with my friend Fee. I'll be doing the first 3 weeks and she'll be doing the last 3 weeks. So if you're on my email list, I will be sending out details today, which when this airs, it'll be Tuesday. It'll already be sent, but you can go ahead and get on my email list and I will still be sending stuff out next week. Okay? So what are we doing for self-care this week, friend? What you doing?
I got to do self-care again this week. No, my self-care has been, it's been looking a little bit different. Sis has been in the house just trying to get things done. So that's what it's going to look like. I'm out here trying to rebrand myself. So I got to work on that. And actually I am. I'm going to be in the streets. I'm going to be outside next weekend. Finna go to Charlotte. Me and my line sisters, we're going to go pet some dogs.
I thought y'all was going to be out brunching it up. You said you're going to pet some dogs.
We're going to pet some dogs.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, enjoy the petting the dogs. That could be therapeutic,
I think so.
So I'm glad you're in. She is sitting here smiling, thinking about it, y'all. Okay. For me, I'm going to do the same thing. Like, I'm not going to go pet no dogs, no. My self-care is going to be, like you said, just kind of taking care of business. I get my new tablet today, which I'm waiting for now, and I don't know where it's at. They need to hurry up because I'm ready to play with it.
Listen, I have a whole out beef with Amazon right now. Whole out beef.
Why? What did they do?
They delivered something to me yesterday and were like, it's delivered. They even took a picture of a doorstep that was not mine. And then, how everything's so automated. I'm trying to find some place to talk to somebody. Finally, this chat feature came up on my app. They just had the nerve to be like, oh, we're sorry. Maybe we updated it too soon. If you don't get it in 24 hours, what?
I was about to say that because, I don't know why they sent you a picture, but I've had that happen before where they said it was delivered and it wasn't delivered until the next day.
Do you know
and I don't
why
know
they sent me a picture? because they delivered it several doors down.
Oh my
Had
God.
I not screenshotted the picture, I wouldn't have thought. So yeah, I'm waiting for it. I end up going out to dinner. I come back, and when I come back to dinner, I look down at my neighbor's door. I just happened to glance out my peripheral vision down at my neighbor's stoop, and I was just like, that's my packages. What if my neighbors would have took them and been like, this ain't us, or took it in their house, or you know what I mean?
Right.
Luckily, my neighbors weren't home. However, that also meant that my packages got wet in the rain.
Right.
So I got a whole bone to pick with Amazon. How do you mix up a 1 and a 5? They don't even look alike. 1 and 7, maybe 1 and 5.
Girl. That's the Amazon way, I guess, because they be on one sometimes. They be on it.
Up with my little Amazon service in Fayetteville. Now, since moving,
yeah.
So anyway, that's my bone to pick with Amazon.
Oh, we're gonna pray that I get it today, because I'm gonna be mad if I get it tomorrow, even though I'm still getting it. I just want it today. Don't say
it doesn't get hit in the rain.
It better not. Not my damn tablet. I'm going off.
Right.
But anyway, that's it, y'all. We're gonna talk to y'all next week. Sis, I want you to take care of yourself this week, like I tell you every single week. I love you. Take care of yourself.
You too, friend. Love you back.
Bye.
Bye.